Men love pointing to nature as evidence for the alpha male, and one of their favorite examples is the lion. They say, look at the lion, there's an alpha male. There is one male surrounded by females. The females live together, hunt together, raise their young together, and they protect each other. And sometimes there's two males, but if one stops pulling his weight or the other male comes along and does the job better, then his contract is terminated. He's temporary. In fact, if you decentralize the male from that story, and many others, to be honest, a pride of lions has a lot more to do with the females than the lonely man. See what I did there? Which got me thinking, how often do we do the exact same thing with women? We center the man and overlook the female collective, which is very often the most powerful engine of the community. Women have lived communally for huge parts of history. Women have given birth around other women, raised children around other women, shared food, shared work, shared knowledge, looked after each other through events like illness and grief and birth and aging. So womanhood happened around other women. Then somewhere along the way, society built this weird idea that the ultimate successful female life was to be dominated by a man. So they had to find a man and pair off and move into a little house that a man controlled and raised children without the man and manage the family and cope quietly. But then man was given the title of provider when women had been providing all along. We took providing from something women did collectively and turned provider into something a man was. And that power shift divided and separated women, which made us so much easier to control. Patriarchy doesn't only benefit from powerful men. It benefits from isolated women. Women who aren't comparing notes, women who don't have practical support, women whose financial and social security depends on being chosen by a man. And once being chosen becomes valuable, other women stop looking like your village and they start looking like competition. And then we call women all sorts of things like jealous and catty and competitive and territorial. But women weren't born fighting each other. Scarcity's taught us that. So when we decentralize men from that and other examples, we find a much more interesting argument. And this is the part patriarchy doesn't want us to see. Women are harder to control when they have each other. Societies have historically rewarded a very particular version of male power, which is dominance, hierarchy, competition, and control, and those sorts of characteristics that we associate with the so-called alpha male. Yet those structures have produced a particularly unsafe world for women. Look instead what happens when females form the societal structures around each other. They create community, cohesion, they share responsibility, they protect each other, they build resilience through cooperation, and most importantly, they make each other safe. If we decentralize men and celebrate the woman in our village, we are stronger for it that way. But most importantly, like I said, we are safer.